Okay guys, so I'm going to talk about lane priority today. Lane priority is important in every lane, but I'm going to go over mainly mid lane examples. However, these mid lane examples are applicable to any lane, so just keep that in mind. First of all, what is lane priority? Lane priority basically means that you have more minions or higher health minions than their minions, and you are pushing them closer to under their tower. So basically you are on their side of the lane, and that means that you can do things like roaming with your priority, helping with objectives, helping with scuttles, doing things like that, going for vision with your lane priority. All of those types of things are some things you can do with lane priority. How do you gain back lane priority is another thing I'm going to talk about, which basically you just need to make sure that you clear their minion wave before the next minion wave comes. That way it'll reset back into the middle of the lane, and then from there you can clear the next minion wave faster, hopefully, than they clear it. What do you do when you don't have priority? Typically when you don't have priority as a jungler, you want to try to go to the opposite objective. You don't want to fight when you don't have priority in your lanes, or you want to play around the lanes that do have priority. When you don't have priority as a laner, you want to try to get back that priority, or you want to try to back if you're low, like go recall or something. But basically when you don't have priority, you don't want to make too many plays because you're not going to be able to do much, and they're going to be able to move first before your laners can move. And 5, when is lane priority useful? It's useful when right before a scuttle spawns so that you can help with the scuttle, right before an objective spawns so that you can be the first one to be at the objective. It's helpful to go get vision around the map because after you clear the lane and push it up with your priority, you can then use that priority to go get vision. You can use it to gank other lanes, and those are some of the main things that you can do with lane priority. However, keep in mind that lane priority is not useful when none of these factors are present. So if there's no objective spawning, there's no lanes to gank, there's no scuttle to go for, and you don't know where their jungler is, having lane priority can be detrimental because it can cause you to be much more gankable. So make sure in those situations that you're not over focusing on getting priority. Only get priority when you can use it in those different situations that I talked about. Okay, so usually the earliest time that you're going to utilize lane priority is at level 3 when the scuttle spawns at 1 minute and 25 seconds. And so what you often want to do here, if you think that in your matchup you have the advantage, you want to try to get the lane pushing. So basically you want, your minions to be closer to their tower. That way the enemy has to deal with the minions while you can rotate and help people on objectives and other stuff like that. So here you can see I'm trying to get the wave just a bit more. My wave, I want to be a bit healthier than their wave is, so I'm just last hitting, and I'm hitting it slightly more than he hits it. That way I can build up a big enough wave so that at level 3 I have the opportunity to roam if I need to, which is why I'm pushed up under his turret. I kind of know, I want to push up, get as many minions as I can taken down, make sure that I always am killing more minions than him. That way he can't really roam or help his teammate out on scuttle. Meanwhile I can, in case my teammate decides to fight at the scuttle. That's why I have the lane pushed up here. I'm poking him down, making sure that he's low enough so that he's not going to win the scuttle fight. Since I know I'm Ziggs, I don't really think I can kill him, so my goal is more just to pressure him enough so that I can get the scuttle potentially. My Vi goes for the scuttle, and I don't notice that their jungler's there because their jungler's not there, so I don't decide to end up helping with the fight, but more it's just a thought process of trying to help there. And then again, here I have lane priority once again. I have the lane pushed, so I know that there's no waves I have to deal with for a little bit. So I decide I have a good opportunity to go get vision, to go roam. I see that Zeri is very low here. I see that there's a big wave. I see that if I kill him here, he will lose a lot of gold and my bot lane will get very far ahead. So I use the fact that I had lane priority to poke him down and get a free kill for my teammate. Now, what I give up here is about 200 gold worth of a wave because the Akali got the wave pushed under my tower. But she wasn't able to get any damage on my tower because she had to deal with the wave that I'd pushed under her tower first, which made her take a long time and allowed me time to roam. And so while I go down about 100 gold to Akali, I get my bot lane very ahead because they denied a lot of gold from the Zeri, and they also got 2 kills out of it. So that's just one way to utilize your lane priority to either help with scuttle or to get a roam off early on in the game. Okay guys, so now I'm going to talk about gaining priority back when you lose it. So what you want to do when you lose your priority is you want to make sure that you kill the entire enemy minion wave before that minion wave meets the next wave that's coming afterwards. You can see here I don't have the push. He's pushing it faster than me and he has the pressure in the lane currently. So all I want to do is I want to make sure that all of their minions die before the next wave comes. And what this will do is it'll cause the wave to reset back in the middle because the wave will not meet, or my minions will not meet any of theirs, so they won't stop for any period of time and they'll meet back in the middle. Now that it's back in the middle, I have time where I can quickly shove this wave, and then I can utilize that priority to roam, to try to get vision, to try to see if I can get a kill and stuff like that. I notice my jungler is looking for a gank here, so I'm trying to get this wave shoved as fast as possible so that I can then roam to the bot lane after. And so now I see here, I'm going to look for the bot lane roam. I'm going to try to get an ult off. Hopefully when my teammate ends up ganking there, I see the vision cone, so I'm waiting so that they don't see me. And then I'm going to ult the Ezreal there. I'm going to get him pretty low, and I see that they're low enough where I could potentially look for a gank here. So I'm going to jump over the wall with my second ability. I'm going to look for some kills there, and we're going to end up getting both of them with that. So basically what's important there is if you don't have the lane priority, make sure that you kill all of their minions before your next minion wave meets that current wave. That way it will reset back into the middle of the lane, and then you will have time to be able to push the lane out from there, and then you can utilize that to roam or to look for vision or do other things with your priority. Okay guys, so oftentimes lane priority is a very useful thing. However, you don't always want priority. So you can see here that I have the minions pushed up into him, and I could potentially, you know, push them further and try to get a bigger advantage. But in reality, I have no way of killing him. I'm lower than him. I don't know where their jungler is. There's no objective to fight over. There's no scuttle to fight over. There's no lanes that look gankable. There's not anything in this situation that would make me want to utilize my lane priority, because all I'm doing is risking getting ganked because I don't know where their jungler is. So in a situation like this, you would rather back off, you would rather go back to your base, you'd rather just sit back, you know, and just let them push the wave into you. Again, the main factors to take into account when you don't want lane priority are if there are no objectives up, you don't want lane priority. If there's no lanes to gank, you don't want lane priority. If their jungler is somewhere where you don't know and you could potentially be ganked and killed, you don't want lane priority. If you're a lot lower than your enemy laner, you don't want lane priority. And those are just some factors with that you would not want lane priority in. Okay guys, so in this situation, I do not have priority, and we also have worse early game champions than the enemy. So what you would want to do as a jungler in this situation is you would want to try to avoid fighting because your lanes are not more healthy and your lanes do not have priority, and instead you would want to simply go to the opposite objective. Now you're going to see here instead my Nunu decides that they want to fight the top side. You can see them pinging on my way there, and so I know that they're probably going to fight. What I should do here instead, because I don't have priority, is I should try to kill my minion wave first. That way I don't lose a ton of gold, whereas the Vex is going to make me lose a lot of gold there. But instead I decide, hey, let's try to win this fight. But we have worse early game. We're lower in health. They have the level advantage on the Vex to me. So everything here is just screaming don't fight, but instead we're still deciding to fight despite all those disadvantages that I spoke about earlier, and we're going to end up losing this fight. And I'm going to lose a lot of gold in the mid lane because he pushed the mid lane under my turret because he had the priority and he was able to make that go under my turret so that I would lose a lot of gold. So not only do we lose the fight, I also lose gold in the mid lane. I lose XP from the mid lane. And it's just overall a very disastrous play for us because of those many mistakes that I spoke about. Okay guys, so lane priority is important in every stage of the game, even more than just the early game. And so now I'm going to show an example from the mid game. So here we know the objective spawning, but instead of immediately going to help my team, I'm going to first clear the mid wave. This means that they can't pressure our turret with the minions because we'll take their minions out. They can't, you know, they might have to deal with the minions instead of going for the objective or something like that. But instead, they're just going to choose to not contest this because we are ahead. However, now the Herald's spawning, and again, you can see I'm not even helping with the dragon. I'm immediately going to the mid lane. I'm making sure I push the mid lane in so that they either lose minions or they lose the objective. They have to choose one or the other. You can see Vex there goes to the mid lane, tries to clear the mid lane out first, and is busy doing that while we start the fight. And so we pressure their jungler, we start the fight before their Vex is really able to come, and because of that, we're able to already poke out their team pretty low before Vex comes, and by the time Vex comes, the fight's already won for us and they can't do anything. So what's really important to note here is just, even in the middle to late stages of the game, you still want to make sure that you, if you can, you're clearing out the different lanes before you start the objective, just so that you can then either cause them to lose gold or to lose the objective. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do in the future. Thank you for all the recent support again on the videos. Very much appreciated. I'll try to get another video out as soon as possible, hopefully later this week or this weekend. But definitely going to make sure I keep uploading at least weekly, and see you guys later.